What's going on, guys? Okay, I got a little bit of a different video for you today. I've been sitting around thinking about people that vape in like the workplace and, what type of vapes do you guys use? Are you allowed to vape? Do you have designated areas? So what we're going to do here today is I've got a video playing in the background where I'm showing you how to do like a simple coil build for a Pro Tank Mini 3, and then you can use it on like a Kanama DNA 30 or a Anakin VTR or whatever device you have. You know what I mean? That's something that's nice and simple and practical that you can take to work with you. Maybe leave it in the car, put it in your locker, whatever you have going on in your workplace. I personally don't have that issue because I work from home, so I don't have to worry about this. But I've just been kind of curious what some of you out there have to deal with. You know what I mean? Are you allowed to vape at work, or are you not allowed to vape at work? So I was looking at an article here, and it says, let's see, how old is this article first? Okay, it's April 2014. All right, and this article claims like certain companies don't allow vaping. Some companies do. So for example, electronic cigarettes are allowed. You're allowed to vape at, say, McDonald's. ExxonMobil even allows employees to vape in smoking areas. Starbucks and Walmart, places like that, they don't allow customers or employees to use electronic cigarettes. Does your company allow it? Do you have a designated smoking area, or is it just not permitted at all? Just kind of curious to what everybody has to deal with out there. And if so, if they do allow it, what do you vape? Obviously, like you seen earlier in the video, do you drip? Do you take an RDA and some batteries or whatever, and a mech mod, or do you take like what I'm building here in the video? Do you take like a little Pro Tank Mini 3 or an Aspired Nautilus Mini, or what kind of vape do you take with you that's practical? I mean, well, like I said, if some people may be able to take mech mods or something, but me personally, when I leave the house, I don't take a mech mod with me because it just, it's a little bit of a pain to carry around a bottle of juice and just go through the whole thing. So I normally will just take, like, usually it's my Aspired Nautilus Mini, and I'll take that like on the Kanama DNA 30 or a little Ego style battery or something similar to that, because it's just simple to do, Like here in the video, I'm showing you how to rebuild a Kanger Pro Tank Mini 3. You pull the coils out, and I'm showing you how to do like a little, I think this coil turns out to be like a 1.6 ohm coil. So it's not sub-ohming or anything like that, but it's a practical coil. It's 8 wraps using 24 gauge Kanthal wrapped on a 564 drill bit. So it's a nice, simple little coil that you can make, and you can put it down in Pro Tank Mini 3. And the reason why I'm using the Pro Tank Mini 3 is because these coils are extremely cheap. The coils themselves, in my personal opinion, aren't very good when you buy them. So I'll buy the coils new for like $5 or $6 for a 5-pack. And then I'll take the new coil out, like I'm showing you right here in the video. I'll pull those coils out and rebuild my own, because I find that building your own coil in these with cotton wicking, it just works so much better. So, and not only that, but these coils, like I have one right here, obviously you can't see it, but I have this tank that I'm building. I have the coil that I just built in this video on the it's inside the Kanger Pro Tank Mini 3, and I have it on Kanama DNA 30, and I'm vaping it at 18 watts, and that 1.6 ohm coil is handling that 18 watts with no problem at all. And I'm getting killer vapor production and great flavor and all that. But you can actually vape that coil, obviously, on an Ego battery if you wanted to, or something similar to that. I already tested it in this video, but I cut all that stuff out. I tested it on the MVP2, the VTR, the SVD, the Vamo V5, the Kanama DNA 30, and a Vision Spinner 2 Ego battery, and it worked flawlessly on all of them. So this coil is nice and simple to build. You can build it in just a few minutes, and then you're off and running, you know what I mean? And these tanks, they only hold like 1.5 mils, but if you're in the workplace or something, that would be perfect for you. And as you guys can see in the video, these coils are really simple to build. I mean, you got the 564 drill bit, and this is showing me reassembling everything. But what this video is really about is I'm just kind of curious as what you guys vape. You know what I mean? When you go out and about, when you leave the house, because I know that we can vape whatever we want to when we're at the house. So if we're sub-ohming and all that. But when you leave the house, what is it that you vape? Do you take like an ego battery? Do you take some of the things that I just mentioned? I mean, I'm just kind of curious what everybody's doing out there, because I went down to Buckeye Vapors yesterday and I seen, you know, obviously there are a lot of people in there running around with mech mods and all that kind of stuff. And here I am. I went in there to get some juice made for the winner of the contest. I'm in there rocking my little Mod DNA 30 with my Aspire Nautilus mini tank on it. It just felt a little out of place because everybody's rocking, you know, mech mods and stuff. I just don't like to take mine out with me because it's just not practical. I'm gonna be walking around, I have it in my pocket or something, and you know, it's leaking juice all over me and all that kind of stuff. So it's just, to me, taking a mech mod with an RDA out in the public is just not practical. So I take a tank with me. That way everything is nice and neat and nice and simple. I'd like to see some of your guys' comments just to see what kind of things that that you take out when you're going out of the house, or if you go to work or something. Does your, like I said before, does your workplace allow vaping? Do they look down on it? Do they have a designated smoking area? Just those kinds of things. So as you can see right here in this video, see we're already putting cotton wicking in it. And these coils, man, they work great. And I've heard a lot of people say that they rebuild these and then once they put them together that they have gurgling issues and all that. But, you know, I never have that problem. I think it really all has to do with wicking and how you do it. And if you watch what I'm about to do here in just a second after I get these cut flush, let's see, there we go. So what I'll do is I'll take a little screwdriver, in this case I'm using tweezers, and I just kind of push the cotton out. Okay, where it fills up that little gap right there, because that's where your juice is going to be coming through that from your tank. That's how it's going to get to your coil. And so what you do is you spread that cotton out around that opening, and then when you put this little rubber grommet piece back on right here, well, first you got to put the pin back in there. But then when you slide that other rubber piece over the top, that's where your juice comes in. So I think probably what's happening with a lot of people when you have gurgling issues is that you're not spreading out that cotton, because as soon as that e-juice hits that cotton, it's going to swell up and it's going to fill that entire area. So you see how that covered that little gap? There we go. So then what I'll do is come back in like that, and I make sure that that entire gap is completely filled in. That way when the e-juice hits it, it's going to swell up, and then there's no way that you're going to have a gurgling issue. At least I don't. I never have that problem. And I use these coils all the time. I rebuild them constantly, and I build them the same way every time. Just one might have 8 wraps, one might have 13 wraps, you know, something in between there. So, but I never have any issues with them. And they work fantastic. And these coils will work in the Pro Tank 1, 2, 3, mini Pro Tanks. I've even got a hyper tank that they work in and all that. You can see right here, it's a 1.64 ohm coil. So, you know, it's not sub-ohming or anything like that, but this is, like I said, a coil that you can pop into a mini Pro Tank or your hyper tank or whatever you're using, and you take it with you on the go. And that's really what this is all about. It's about being convenient and making things nice and simplistic, so, you know, you don't have to really worry about too many things. So I was just kind of curious, when you guys go out to your job, would you take something like this with you? Is this something that you could like put in the car or something like that? Because I'll tell you, man, I do a lot of sub-ohming these days. I like to vape like 0.7, 0.8, sometimes there's 0.6. I don't really go too much lower than that. You know, going back to these tanks, when I do take off and I leave the house, I go shopping or whatever, and I take something like this with me in the car, like the little mini Pro Tank 3 or the Aspire Nautilus Mini or something. It's a different vape, so it's nice to have that little change in your vape, you know what I mean? So instead of just sub-ohming all the time. But really, that's all this video is about. I just wanted to, and I know it's kind of lingering on a long time, but you know, I'm showing you how to rebuild a coil in the background back there. But as you can see, I have the MVP2 back there, and this coil works fantastic on it. I tried it on like 6 different devices, and it worked perfectly on all of them. And that's another great thing about this coil build. You know, it's versatile. It works on a lot of different mods, from Ego batteries to DNA 30s and all that, yeah, and everything in between. And I never have any issues with it. So this would be my suggestion if somebody's taking off to go to work or whatever, and they need a decent vape, but you know, they're not going to be chucking clouds all over the place, but you're still going to get that nicotine fix or that vape fix that you need. This is a really practical tank to take with you, especially if you don't want to pay $10, $15, whatever it is, for like a Spire Nautilus Mini, them BVC coils, the vertical coils. They're extremely expensive, man, and they're hard to rebuild. They're just not made, you know, the same way that these are, so they're a lot more difficult to build. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much about it. I'd just like to hear your comments below, and let me know what it is that you guys do for your workplace and all that. What kind of vape do you do? Are you allowed to do it at all? And all that. So that's pretty much about it. So thanks for watching. Hope you liked this video. Take care, and happy vaping.